Hi, thanks for joining me. Today, I want to talk a little bit about leadership styles. We see all different types of leadership styles when we're in a dental office or in any office or within any type of management period. And some styles work better than others. And so if we talk a little bit about different types of leadership styles, we might see how we as leaders fall into one bucket or another. And we can see how our styles kind of evolve over time. And sometimes we pull from different styles at different times, depending on a situation. And so I'm going to share my screen and we can see a little bit about our different types of styles. Okay, here we go. So this is how I like to present, and this is one of the things that I present in some of my seminars that I do and some of my coaching sessions about leadership. And I figured I would share this with the world and with everybody here on my YouTube channel. And we could discuss the different types of leadership styles that people pull from on a normal basis. So this is probably the most comprehensive figure of leadership styles. We have the most basic one, and this is probably the one that most newer management people or newer leaders fall into, and that's the commanding style. And the commanding style is somebody who demands immediate compliance. They have the very authoritarian style. It's the my way or the highway style. They're the ones that are on a power trip, that type of thing. And they have a very high drive, and they have very little emotional intelligence, in my estimation. This at times can work. They can get things done very quickly, but they tend to use fear as a motivator, and it's not usually effective in the long run. And as you can see on the bottom part right here, overall impact on climate within the office, it's negative. And so this is not a style that is good to use in the long run. The visionary style, which is the next column over, this is a great style, but at the same time, this is a style that maybe isn't great for the long haul either. But this is great for offices that are in transition. A lot of times, if an office is transitioning from one practice management software to another, or let's say there's a new doctor in the office, or there's something new that we're trying to achieve, that type of thing, the visionary style is very effective. It mobilizes people towards a vision. And this is great if you have a manager or a leader that is very strong in this vision, because you can get people to follow them. It's really strong. It's really good to have everybody on the same page. If you can get everybody on the same page and get everybody to follow you, that makes transitions very easy. Managers or leaders that have this visionary style have to really walk that talk. They can't portray a visionary style and then be in the background saying, I don't think this is going to really work, or I'm really nervous about this, or anything like that. They really need to walk that talk. They really have to have that confidence and all of that. So they have to have that really clear direction, and they have to really portray it as they're the expert. And if they can do that, then they're going to have a really strong positive influence on the entire office. An affiliative leader, which is this one here in the center, they create harmony, they build emotional bonds. They are basically like a parental figure in the office. You can see these types of managers very often in dental offices as they're usually the ones that have been around for a long time. They take people under their wing. They're the ones that are like the mom of the office. They always bring in the birthday cakes, and they never forget a birthday. They want to celebrate every occasion. They're really great at building relationships with the patients. They're just really great at communication. They also sometimes are really bad at conflict resolution. This is a leadership style that can be really, really great, but at the same time, it can be a difficult leadership style when there is drama being in the background. Like if there's drama between people in the background, like in like clinical world, or if there's strife between a couple people, the affiliative person, if they can't create that harmony, if they can't get everybody to get along, then that's going to create tension, and they're going to get stressed out, and then they're not going to be able to handle it. They're not great at conflict resolution. So affiliative people, if you can't find a way to resolve conflict, then they're going to not have as much of a positive impact on the office. Democratic leaders, this is a really actually a great leadership style. They forge through consensus through participation. They get everybody involved. They get everybody's input. They get collaboration. They're really good with communication. They really try to get buy-in from everybody, and get equal ideas, and then kind of go from there. And they weigh everybody's opinions to make decisions. Sometimes the conflict resolution isn't as good with democratic leaders, but usually this is probably one of the better leadership styles. So I do like democratic leaders. Pace setting leaders. This is not always the best leadership style too. This is also somebody that we usually see in young leaders. They set really high standards for performance. These are also very competitive leaders. And they also set really high standards for performance. It's the do as I do, I want it done now. It's that really high drive to achieve at all costs. They want to get quick results. They don't really care how they get the results. It's just they want it, and they want it now, and it's to be damned on how it happens. And there's a lot of negative consequences that happens from pace setters. Now, you can have somebody who mixes pace setting with visionary or affiliative or democratic. You can have a little bit of pace setting and mix it with somebody that has some of these other attributes, and it can work, and actually can work well. And then it negates that negativity from the pace setting, and you can actually get a really strong positive leader in really high achieving office when you have that pace setter leader who also is very visionary or affiliative or democratic, and mixing that up. And I actually have seen very, very strong results when you have somebody who's got that little bit of pace setting in their leadership style, but mixed with some of these other really great other types of leadership styles. So it can be really good. And then my personal favorite is the coach, leadership coach, or leadership style that's a coach. This has always been me. I love this particular leadership style, probably because it's the one that I relate to the most. And that's the person that likes to develop people for the future. This is your leader that likes to bring people up from the ranks, the person that likes to develop them and put them into other types of leadership positions, or get them moved up in teaching them new things so they can then, do this or try this and learn this. And so then they can be delegated to, and it actually works out very well in an office. And it helps improve job performance. It helps improve the office performance, and it develops long-term strengths in the employees, and also helps with retaining good employees. Some people will say, well, if you're coaching somebody and then they leave because they can find a better job, yes, that's absolutely possible. But a lot of times you will coach somebody and they won't look to leave necessarily, because they will have forged a really strong bond, and they will have forged a really strong affiliation for you as their mentor, their coach. So usually you can actually get more employee retention, when you are coaching somebody to the point where they then can take on a lot more. That's my opinion, and that's what I have found in my years of management and leadership. And usually can get a really strong positive impact in your office when you are coaching. Now, I will say, most leaders are not one of these leadership styles. Most leaders will be a mix of several, if not most, of these leadership styles. Usually, good leaders are not very high on the pace setting or commanding scale. Usually good leaders are lower on those because of the damage that it can do to an office. But I have seen leaders be higher on those, but usually they don't last very long. I'll be honest, they don't. And unless that's the impact, that it's usually in more of a corporate setting, and that's the impact that environment wants or nourishes. And that's not usually, and usually that's even very rare. I mean, I've worked in corporate dentistry, I've worked in corporate banking, I've worked in corporate retail, and even in corporate situations, being high commanding, high pace setting, high on those scales, it's not what most corporate positions really want in a leader. They still want somebody who's visionary, who's affiliative, who's democratic, who's a coach, who's going to be wanting to see their people, who wants to see their teams grow, and they want to see employee retention. They want to see leaders who can flourish with, bringing people on board and nurturing their teams and nurturing values, and being on board with all of that. So, really the leadership styles that we want to see out of anything are going to be the visionary, the affiliative, the democratic, and the coach. So I hope this helps some of you. And if you have questions, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me at Leslie@blackdogbusinessgroup.com. If you would like some more one-on-one training, feel free to visit my website at www.blackdogbusinessgroup.com. I am available for one-on-one training and or group training in your office. And I am more than happy to be available to you. And if you got a lot out of this video, please feel free to like or subscribe. And it helps me and it helps other people. So I'm more available to them. So thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you have a great day.